Doop doop dee 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 doop dee dee doop. All right, welcome to the Smeggie Cave. What's going on, guys?
Not too much. Thanks for having me.
For sure, for sure.
What's going on tonight, guys?
Oh, not much. I was just recapping how I did a thing for Every Second Matters. Granted, I did it a day late. I did it earlier today, but it was like it's the format that normally when I do it each month, it's like 10, 15 minutes. Today was 40 minutes long. So much stuff got introduced in February.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
And I was surprised. And here's the thing: I like getting like any step of the process, good or bad. There was a couple of pro-gun things that either passed the committee or like passed the House and went to the Senate. There was a couple of like stand your ground laws that have been going through. So it's like, well, that's good. I mean, self-defense, I count that as Second Amendment, and that's kind of the whole point. And well, not the whole point, but that's one of the points is for personal self-defense. And so it's good to see like some other states are going, yeah, dude, you don't have to like run away from your own house, or you don't have to, you know, whatever type of thing. If someone's attacking you, you can defend yourself.
Right. Yeah, that's good. Most states should, have that. That should be, common sense that if you're backed into a corner, you defend yourself.
Well, here's the thing. It's always been it's funny if we phrase it like that because it's if you are literally like backed into a corner, you're able to defend yourself. Like that has been a thing. The problem comes in when after the fact are some states, there used to be more, but there are still some now that have, they'll call it like a duty to retreat, which basically means is like after the fact, once people look at it and they're like, well, yeah, the guy broke into your house, but you were in the living room. You could have ran into the kitchen, like gotten further away, or you could have jumped out the bathroom window because your porch has a roof and there's a tree next to it, so you could have climbed down the tree and ran away. Like it's all of these things where basically they're second guessing this stuff after the fact, and it's like, you know what? Yeah, looking back, maybe I could have done that. Like that's
Yeah. Well, looking back, I could have invested in Bitcoin like a decade ago, and then, you know, 4 months ago before it crashed, I could have sold and been a multi-millionaire, but shoulda, coulda, woulda. Hindsight.
right. Exactly. Well, and that's the problem with before stand your ground and Castle's doctrine kind of became more positive, or more not positive, more prevalent.
Mm-hmm.
Is that's the type of stuff that, yeah, people would get tied up in. It's like they did everything you'd think a human would. They protected themselves or their family in the way that they thought was best. And maybe with new evidence or better thinking, like it could have been different, but it could have been worse also. Like that's the other thing is it's like, well, you could have ran away. Yeah, but if I turned my back to the bad guy, he might have shot me in the back. Like that's the problem. You're making this decision in a split second, and then you're having jurors sit there and think about it for a week and criticize every little step you took.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of places have kind of gone away from that. Because I agree that if someone like breaks into your house, it's reasonable to assume they mean you harm. They're up to no good. Whereas
Yeah.
before it's like, well, they just broke in. Like you have to wait till you see a knife or you see a gun, and then you can do. It's like, no, no, no. Like I shouldn't be held responsible for what they may or may not do. Someone who illegally enters your home, especially like with the knowledge that you're home, those people are probably know what they're doing and they're probably up to no good.
Oh, absolutely. And police, they normally and, in the military, it's essentially that, they always get justified on shots that could have actually been bad shots. You know, something was in their hand, it's dark, they couldn't see what it was, thought it was a gun, and so they shot. And so they were, you know, trying to protect themselves, because that's, you know, whether you're police or military, if you're pulling your gun and shooting, you're engaging in self-defense, same as a person who's in their home.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because if I'm not mistaken, the actual like the rules for police to be allowed to shoot is how would you phrase it? Like more stringent or something. Like police, I don't know how you say it. Like a okay, if you're like a non-police officer, I almost said like a citizen, but police are citizens. That's one of my pet peeves because I don't like when police are like, well, it's us and then the citizens. No, dude, you're not military. You're a citizen. But anyways, you know, police first, non-police. You have like almost more of a right to self-defense as a non-police. Like they have to check more boxes before they use lethal force. Now, granted, in reality, maybe they get justified easier because that's just whatever happens happens. But you know, as a person, especially as a person in your house or even some place where you're legally allowed to be, yeah, someone's, you know, threatening you or whatever, like you can defend yourself.
Yeah, so I mean that's a good thing. Nice, nice net positive. You know, I guess I'm living in New Hampshire. I should find out more about, you know, New Hampshire's a pretty good state for that sort of thing. But when I was in Florida, we had Castle Doctrine there, and I think I actually even remember that passing, and lots of people were freaking out over that. But
yeah, well, you'll always get yeah, you'll get those people that will say stuff like, "Oh, well, you know," especially the stand your ground, which is basically, I mean, all the laws are worded a little differently, but you know, people use those common terms because everyone pretty much knows what it means, and that's, you know, like Castle Doctrine is you don't have to retreat in your own house, and then stand your ground is kind of basically Castle Doctrine just extended to anywhere that you're legally allowed to be. So like as long as you're not committing a crime like out and about, then you can defend yourself if you're like, you know, on a sidewalk or whatever.
That's don't limit it to where you are, and that it's more of, instead of being found guilty of murder unless you're found innocent of defending yourself, you know, so in other words, if the state doesn't necessarily find a victim guilty when there is stand your ground, right? And as opposed to before stand your ground, if you were in a situation and you defended yourself and it was lethal, you'd be accused of murder, and it would be up to you as the accusee or whatever, the defendant, to prove that it was self-defense. When you have stand your ground, now you as the victim, it's up to the state to prove that you tried to murder them, and that's a whole different thing. Now you're a free person who just defended themselves. You're the victim, and the state doesn't treat you like a criminal. So that's the bigger difference between them. Castle Doctrine, of course, is where you are and whether you have a right to stand your ground.
Yeah, that's a good way of explaining it. Because I've heard that before, right? Because like the one, it used to be, it's a, what do they call it, like a positive defense. Like you said, you have to prove yourself innocent type of thing.
Right. And actually, so here's an interesting history lesson since I brought up Florida. So it turns out the first stand your ground came in Florida in 2005, and it was actually the rest of the country that followed suit. So we actually have not had that until recently.
Yeah, that's the whole point. CCW and stuff was like considered like a act of a criminal, a scoundrel. Why would you want to hide your gun? It must be for criminal intent. It wasn't until they started passing those kind of laws to say, like, what the fuck, man? Like the victims of crime, just because they have guns, aren't bad people. So it's this like persecution that we're living under now. You know, oh, something happened. with this type of firearm. So you're all guilty. You're all sons of bitches.
You know, I used to open carry quite a bit, and it was interesting because A, most people didn't notice, and B, the people who did, we usually ended up in a conversation, and it usually, is always very amicable. Sometimes people would say dumb crap, but for the most part, it ended up being a positive educational experience for those people who talked to me about it.
Right on.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I've open carried basically when I go up north. I do it just because it's it's a little more comfortable, especially when I'm out like walking through the woods and stuff. But if I have to go into town, I don't think about it. I just go into town, and I've never even had anyone say anything about it. I don't really open carry like around my house here because I have a feeling it would be more similar to the YouTube videos you see where people like the cops come up and, hey, we got a call, we're checking you out, and then you got to pull that whole, am I being detained? Like, am I free to go? I'll admit it, maybe it's being lazy or whatever, but I don't want to deal with that hassle if I'm just out walking around. But anyways, the point is I've only seen like one person open carrying around my area. I was actually out to lunch, and I said something about it. Dude, he got up, he was paid for his meal or whatever, and he walked out. And after he left, I was like, well, that was kind of cool seeing someone open carrying. And the person I was talking to was like, wait, what? Who? Huh? I'm like, you didn't just see that guy walk right past our table with a outside the waistband holster on? Like, it's eye level. We're sitting down. He walked past. It's like, it was eye level. Like, yeah, I didn't even notice.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. When I started open carrying, that's when I started noticing other people doing it. And I only open carried when I lived in Virginia. And I would go into Walmart, and I'd usually see like 2 other people doing it. But, I mean, that may have just been kind of the area where I live, because in Virginia, maybe it's changed, but when I lived there, you didn't have to get a permit to open carry, but you did have to conceal carry. So it's just easier if you don't feel like bothering with paying to conceal carry.
Right. Yeah, Michigan's like that. We've always had permitless open carry. Like it's always been fine. And then concealed carry was a permit. And I know, for a while it was May issue. In fact, I found this out like after the fact, after I really started getting into guns. But apparently my uncle's had a concealed carry permit since, I don't know, like the late 80s, early 90s or something, because he owns a business, and that was one of those you have to like have a reasonable cause or whatever stupid thing they call it. And so his whole thing was like, I own this restaurant, and I'm taking the money out of the store at night, and all this stuff, or whenever I go to the bank, and it's like, I'm a more of a target than someone else, because people can learn that like I'm getting ready to go to the bank, so they might jump me in the parking lot or whatever.
Right.
And his restaurants weren't in like super great areas, so that's not like, it's not a super great area.
Because I'm not sexist, I acknowledge that criminals might be hot chicks, and then I'm worried that they might jump me.
That's a very good point. That actually is a problem I have quite often.
Well, I used to own a restaurant myself, and when I did, I'd conceal carry, but whenever I'd, have to be in the back lifting something up or grabbing someone from like a top shelf, sometimes, people would see my handgun. But it was kind of funny because my staff actually was like, oh, this is awesome, because they actually felt more comfortable about it. And I remember when I had one employee, she was brand new. She was like, hey, is it okay if I conceal carry here? And I was like, hell yeah, do it. Absolutely. So I don't know, that may be a regional thing, but people felt more comfortable.
Yeah. No, I've sparked up conversations with, a company that I've worked with. I've kind of like been contracted to them and stuff. And we were all out of town, just having dinner and stuff. And somehow guns got brought up. I don't even think it was me. Normally it's me that brings it up, but I think someone else did. And so I was like, oh, cool, we're talking about this now. Come to find out, like, just about every single person sitting at that table all have their carry permit. One of the things is their shop, like where the actual work is in like a very bad section of Detroit. You know, they got the fence all around their parking lot, and you got to buzz in just to get your car in, and you know, all the doors you got to get buzzed in or have a swipe card to get through and all this stuff. And anyways, they're like, basically, I don't want something to happen between my house and work when I'm sitting at a red light or, you know, wherever. And so they all conceal carry to work. And they're like, just about everyone in our shop has to have it, like, doesn't have to, but just about everyone has a concealed carry permit.
No, that's funny. I think that, you know, a lot of people don't necessarily talk about it, but I do think that it's more common than a lot of people realize.
Oh yeah, there was an ad campaign a while back that was, what the heck was it? I forget the exact like marketing hook, but it's like, oh, you know what it is? It's like, I'm a lawyer and I carry. I'm a school teacher and I carry. I'm a blah blah blah. Like, I'm a mother of two and I carry. And so it was all these like pictures of, you know, just regular looking people, and then, you know, a picture.
Oh,
What?
Yeah, you kind of, your audio got really crazy for a second.
He probably melted again, and then that got into the electricity.
I hate when that happens.
What happened?
Your audio got all crazy for a second.
Oh, I noticed my wire was messed up when I set my computer down. That might have been it.
No worries. We just didn't get the last little bit of what you just said.
Oh, it's just basically it like kind of reminds everyone that, you know, concealed carry people they're your neighbors, they're your friends, they're your relatives, like they're just regular people.
Yeah.
And they're not someone to be scared of.
Oh no. Well apparently we are. My brother and I had a conversation the other day, and he's like, "You have too many guns. It scares people." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, okay.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, it's like I have 16 guns, and I'm actually about to be selling some because, well, it looks like it's about to be a good seller's market, and I need money anyways. So the timing is good, because I mean, I don't think that the federal level, any of that, those gun control bills will pass, because the Republicans control, you know, the House and the Senate. And I think all that political stuff is just everyone trying to grandstand to look like they're doing something. But people, it looks like some panicking has already begun.
Yeah, I won't be participating in any panicking.
No, I mean, like I said, if anything right now is a good time to sell if you have, you know, more than you need. Which, granted,
you never have more than you need.
That's true.
You always have more.
It's true. But no, I want to personally, I want to sell off some stuff and start getting more into like class 3 stuff. You know, like I'm thinking I'll probably take down my collection just to like the 3 or 4 guns I shoot the most, and then get some suppressors, and I want an SBR one, you know, get some of those cool toys that you have to pay the government the $200 tax stamp for.
Right on.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah. But, you know, I mean, besides, can't really shoot my grenade launcher too much, so that'll be a good sell.
What? Don't sell your grenade launcher.
Well, you know, I bought it as a collectible, and I mean, yeah, I mean, it's definitely the toy that everyone actually enjoys the most. Like, which is funny, because even the people who weren't gun people are like, "Oh, let's go play with this," and they're like, hell yeah, this is fun. I'm like, yeah, it is. But I could sell my grenade launcher for probably $2,000, $2,500 and buy a $300 Spikes Havoc and have just as much fun.
So what's so cool about like your grenade launcher?
So it's an actual M203, but it was made by a guy named Randy Shivak. He made these back in the day. I don't know if the guy's still, he doesn't do it anymore. I don't know if he's dead or if he just retired, but he was selling actual, like, he milled out, made M203 grenade launchers, but he was selling them with 37 millimeter smoothbore barrels. And so what that meant was it's Title One, just like if you buy an AR-15 stripped lower, it doesn't become a NFA destructive device unless you were to put on the 40 millimeter rifled barrel, which would make it a destructive device. Therefore, but with the smoothbore barrel, it's just still Title One, but you can launch flares out of it. Now, if you were to own like 37 millimeter like anti-personnel rounds, like the stuff police have, like the rubber beam bags or whatever, then it would be a destructive device. But if you just get like smoke rounds, it's just a lot of fun. But that's it. It's just this weird collectible that people want. But I was looking for that thing for 5 years. It took me 5 years to find it, so they're very rare.
I guess I never realized that grenade launchers are like normally rifled. Like that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yes,
I didn't know that.
So
I just assumed they were tubes.
No,
there's not much to them.
It's not. They're very simple. They're basically a giant shotgun, but the rifled barrel is actually what the rotation is what activates the HE, the high explosive rounds, and so I guess that's why that makes it work that way.
Interesting. I never knew that.
I don't know. Even when I was in Afghanistan, they didn't give us HE.
That kind of sounds like a jip.
Oh man, actually, it was kind of this hilarious logistical joke. So we would ride around in vehicles to do security around the perimeter of Camp Leatherneck, and so we'd be in a vehicle, and guys would have shotguns, but they wouldn't have the rounds for the shotguns, which were like flashbangs, or but they'd have different stuff for an M203. Whereas the guys in the other truck, they would have stuff for an M203, non-lethal type stuff, but they wouldn't have. But then they would be guys. They'd have shotguns and no ammo for them. It was weird. Yeah, but don't worry. The Taliban had plenty of RPGs that they shot at us.
You snag any of those?
Nope, but we did blow up a weapons cache.
That sounds like a waste.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was our mission, was prior to handing over Camp Leatherneck to the Afghan National Army. We were trying to find a large cache of or cache or whatever, however you pronounce it, of weapons that we knew the Taliban had been storing up, so that basically when we left, they would not get overran by the Taliban.
Why not just take them, though? Why blow them up? Like, mail them home.
They're good. If we leave shit behind, we fucking rig it to blow up so nobody else
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, deprive the enemy of their resources.
You know, I saw something. It was like I forget what it was exactly, but like a news report type thing where they were talking about how like we dropped a bunch of like AK mags that would have like, you know, double charged rounds in them or whatever.
Yep.
And I mean that makes sense. Like, okay, cool. But this this news thing was talking about like basically the way it was like edited or whatever. It's like they were trying to make you feel bad for like the people we were fighting that picked those rounds up. Like, look at this person, like he had his hand blown up or something. I'm like, oh, you mean when he picked up that like ammo and then tried to kill our people with it? Like, I'm sorry, I don't feel bad for you.
Right?
Like, it's one thing. It's okay. You want to do a story about like landmines or something? I get it. You can have some sympathy stuff. Hey, this kid was playing football or whatever, and stepped on a thing. Yeah, totally bad. Like I feel sorry for that. But an actual like active combatant that's trying to kill our people, I don't feel so bad if they end up like blowing up their hand.
No.
Maybe they should like not shoot at our people. Like that'd be an easy way not to have problems.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is complicated. Like, we invaded their country, and they're not happy we're there. So I could see them not being too happy that we were invading their country.
No, I get it, but like to see something on, like wherever I saw it, like NBC Nightly News or 60 Minutes. Actually, I do think it was a 60 Minutes episode now that I think about it. Like to see something on 60 Minutes that's trying to make me feel bad about it. Like I don't feel super bad about it.
Oh, well, people need to understand war is terrible, and to win a war, you play dirty because that's how you win. We might have a barking dog in a minute.
Oh, it sounds like he's ramping up to start getting riled up.
Oh, you hear him?
Mm-hmm. What you doing? Looking out the window or something?
Down. I wasn't around all day, so now that it's 1 in the morning, he wants to play.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Hell, that's when I'm up. I'm ready to go. Let's go to the park, dude.
Yeah. Oh my God, buddy. You're killing me.
Nothing weird about two grown men playing in the park at 1 o'clock in the morning. After they've met online. Nothing weird about that at all.
Hey, it's the 21st century. That's how everyone meets nowadays, right? He just wants to participate.
Dude, I've met tons of people off gun channels in person. And so far, none of them have kidnapped me.
Dude.
What kind of dog is that?
Get down.
What kind of dog is that?
What? I'll be right back.
I'm trying to remember because he was on the chat the other day. We were talking about it.
It's like a chihuahua.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty badass chihuahua. I think he said it's like a big fat lab, but I don't remember exactly.
That didn't sound like no lab. What's this?
Like I said, I could be wrong. My memory's not the best, and I totally could be confusing him for someone else too.
All right, I'm back. He wanted to go outside.
Okay, we have a very important question.
42.
Okay, I've never heard of a dog breed called 42. What kind of dog is that?
He's a lab and Rhodesian mix.
Ha! I was half right.
Oh, please.
What did you guys
said
guess?
lab, didn't I?
It sounded bigger than a lab.
He's fat.
See? That's actually my exact words. Played the tape back. I said, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's a big fat lab.
There's no way. We can't record this.
We don't have the technology.
I think it says live. Oh Lord, there's all sorts of people watching and talking in the Facebook chat.
Well, that is an absolute miracle because I don't have Facebook.
I'm not Facebook, YouTube. Sorry, hey, it's late. I've had a busy day.
I gotta bust chops. Yeah, I've been forgetting about that. Like the YouTube side's been pretty alive for me.
Who the hell watches on YouTube?
I'm not sure. There's some cool people, and they're people like from gun
Float.
channels that have come over. So
Yeah, I mean, most of the chats that are on gun channels, I've like Yankee and Never Enough Ammo, those I watch on the YouTube side. Now I actually kind of just keep both up so I can kind of see the chats on both. But you know,
well, yeah, but I would say definitely the gun channel side's the way to go. For
well,
one, you don't get as many weirdos like spamming the chat, especially in like one of match chats or something where sometimes it's kind of even hard to like keep up because everyone's saying weird stuff.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
enjoy watching the weird stuff.
Midnight RL and Grand. They're over there on the YouTube side talking.
Wow, cheaper than dirt already has $60 PMags.
No. I'm sorry. You're new to the cave. There is a rule. They shall not be named. It is officially less expensive than soil.
Very well. Yeah, those guys didn't win any fans.
Oh, dude, they've still been on the shit list since, what was that, 13?
Hell, I thought it was 2008.
Oh, I didn't know about them back then. I just knew about them in 13 when they did the same, cranked up all the, well, it wasn't even just they cranked up all their prices. Um, Apparently, like, if you had stuff ordered through
Yep.
them, like right after it happened, they canceled your order. I'm like, sorry, we're out of stock. Oh, by the way, you can buy it for $80.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty scummy. And I like how Dick's has how a few years ago they stopped selling ARs and now they're like, oh, once again we're not doing it. It's like you guys stopped doing that years ago.
Well, no, they did. There's the thing, because I remember that they first were like, yeah, we're not selling them or whatever, and they started selling them again fairly quickly. The thing was, it's like they were in the back room, like they weren't on display behind the counter. And that's like, okay, now you're basically saying like, hey man, you you got some AR-15s, bro? Like, yeah, come here. We got to go behind the counter.
Yeah, drug deal.
Like you're willing to take my money for this thing, but at the same time, you're saying, to the general public, this thing that we're selling, like we're embarrassed of, and we don't want anyone to have to see it because, like, they're bad.
Right.
I haven't liked them since back then, but they did start selling them like fairly shortly after they said they'd stopped completely. And they just said, okay, we won't display it. So that way, if someone's walking by trying to buy a soccer ball, they don't have to see an AR. The thing that's crazy about that, and this is where, like, even in all the memes, it's completely getting like forgot about and stuff, is apparently Field and Stream is associated with them, and they're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And I was talking about this earlier. I honestly think, like, if every single gun person stopped shopping at Dick's, it's not going to hurt them that much. I mean, at least the one near me, like the hunting and fishing sections, like one little tiny thing, and then the whole middle part of the store is all like workout clothes and shoes and whatever. And they have a whole giant golf center where you can get custom golf clubs and like all this crap. So, like, I don't think they were making much money off of actual firearm sales anyways.
No.
But Field and Stream has a lot more outdoorsy type people that are probably sympathetic toward Second Amendment rights. So if everyone stops shopping there, they're gonna feel that pain.
Oh, in other news, LL Bean said they're going to stop selling AR-15s and whatnot, and I was just surprised to learn that they did in the first place.
I seen one for Whole Foods though too, so that could be.
Right. It's like, is the joke getting away from itself?
No, it actually wasn't even a joke. Like it was actual official from LL Bean.
Oh, okay. But you're right. Yeah, because I've seen the meme with Whole Foods. It's like, Whole Foods says they're not going to sell rifles to 18-year-olds anymore. Where will I get my food?
Right.
So it's like, yeah, I think they're just,
I don't know.
But yeah, I guess if you saw like an actual, like from a trusted source, like a press release or something, then maybe they will. But I don't know, because LL Bean, especially like, I remember back in the day, like they were for like hiking and camping kind of stuff.
Yeah, I've only
Like,
actually been in one of them, and I just thought it was kind of their camping section wasn't very good, and all their stuff was, really overpriced.
yeah, they're kind of like the what would you call it? What like the trendy outdoorsman, like the posh outdoorsman is how
The
I've always
hipsters.
thought of it.
Yeah, yeah, the hipsters who will buy that stuff, go out once, and talk about how they're He-Man outdoorsmen. Oh, now the dog wants to come back in. I'll be right back. My life is ruled by him.
Leave them out there. So,
All right, and I'm back. He'll probably start barking for food soon.
oh, dude, you did it all wrong. It's food first, then outside, because once he eats food, he's gonna have to go outside again.
Oh, he ate just a little while ago. He likes to keep eating.
Oh, well, I mean, if he already ate, then he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. He'll suck it up. Oh, now he's getting in front of the computer screen. This is what happens when you're laying in bed.
Well, yeah, dude, he just wants to be on gun channels.
I want gun channels.
Can you blame him?
I know. Yeah, see, he's enjoying. He's coming into the conversation.
There used to be a cat that lived in the same house as me that enjoyed getting on gun channels chats.
Yeah, who wouldn't?
He'd be perfectly silent like all day, and then as soon as I put the headset on, meow, 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 meow.
Yep, that's kind of how it goes. I think he just missed me. He's had a long day. Long day of sleeping.
That takes a lot out of you.
All right. Let's see if I can move him. There we go. Nope. It's very hard to be on a gun chat when your dog is attacking you. But it must make for amusing. No, I will not make out with you.
This guy's over here talking about chlorophyll. Like,
There we go. Oh, Kroger's selling ARs. Wow. Sit down. Lay down. What is G-Webs? What are you doing over there?
I'm guessing he's doing some type of artwork thingy.
Making a patch.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Very cool.
Oh, dang it. That's what I was going to do this afternoon, too. I got my Patreon perk from you. I was going to take some pictures and make a video about it.
I know.
I guess I'll do that tomorrow. So I don't feel like doing it now. I'm already laying down.
Right. I started a Patreon. Hopefully people will start hooking that up. I want to get a bigger green screen, and I need a new computer. Maybe one day.
Well, I find like honestly though, as long as you're like as long as the content's good, like people will put up with whatever. Like, oh, my green screen's not the best, or this this camera kind of sucks or whatever. I mean, it's nice to have that kind of stuff, but I know some people that like they won't start doing like YouTube stuff. They're like, well, it's not going to be good yet because I don't have the right stuff. It's like, well, I don't know. To me, it's like just do it anyways, and if you get cool stuff, good, and if not, like then just keep doing it the way you're doing it.
Oh yeah, like well, I mean, I use my cell phone as my camera and mic right now. It's a lot easier to use an iPhone. And my green screen is actually just a fleece blanket that I got. But it does work. And I mean, for me, it's more doing this stuff on YouTube is actually really just trying to learn the basics of video production in general anyway. So that's why a lot of my content is, I'm trying to kind of push that envelope just because I want the skill set. But actually, my last several videos, I haven't even been doing too much with showing my face. It's just been kind of taking news clips or other video clips and just kind of putting it together.
Yeah, I've never messed with the like green screen before. I don't even know how to like do that stuff.
It's actually pretty easy. It's just you just have to have software that can do it. So I'm using Adobe Premiere Pro, and I've been playing around with another program called After Effects a little bit. That's what you do, like computer generated graphics and whatnot. I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead. It's actually only $60 a month for the whole Adobe like suite, so you can use all their stuff for $60 a month. That's not too bad, because if you're just using one program, they charge you $30.
And if you know anybody that's got student, then that can be even cheaper. Like as an email address from a school.
Oh man, I hadn't even thought about doing that. I am in college. I could probably get a hookup.
Yeah, all you need is an email address from a school, I think.
Like something that ends in .edu.
Mm-hmm.
That is smart.
It's a little cheaper. I think it's like $250 for the whole year.
Oh, that's a lot cheaper. That's like half as much.
Mm-hmm. And the whole package, so you can really start playing. There's a lot of cool shit in there.
Oh my god, it's $20 a month. You just saved me freaking hundreds of dollars.
Right on.
Oh my god.
That's how we roll in gun channels, man.
That's what it's about.
That's great, because I'm starting an LLC. I have to finish up the stuff for the state. So for video production, I've actually so far had 2 video projects, and I'm about to pick up a 3rd contract. So, be nice to put it into a business instead of having to pay for 1099 work. Those taxes will kill you.
Yeah, that's very cool. You're in New Hampshire?
Yes. So it's not, there's no state tax as far as income tax, but the federal tax is what's going to end up getting me. So, but by doing an LLC, yes, there'll be state taxes, but it can reduce my federal burden. So it's kind of like a nice little offset. And then if I
Very
can,
cool.
yeah, it's good stuff. Why not take a hobby and turn it into a profession? And now it's turned into computer nerd chat.
Yeah, that's fine.
That happens quite a bit.
Yeah.
Hell, I stepped away for 2 seconds to see what Tardot show was all about earlier this evening. And friggin' who was Night Strike talking to?
Nice.
A bunch of different people. They start talking about all these different servers and hard drives and blah blah blah. I was like, all right, I'll just finish listening to Tardot's thing then. I was listening to the show on the phone, and then I just like turned my headset down and only had like one ear on, so I could kind of hear what they were talking about. So I heard him be like, "Yeah, what the hell happened to Smeggie?" And I was able to like jump right in and be like, "What? I'm sitting right here," you know. Even though I was like barely paying attention to what they were saying.
It happens.
But yeah, that's fine. Whatever. That's one of the things in the gun industry. It's like gun guys tend to kind of be computer nerds and car guys and apparently food. But so most of the time that's like stuff a lot of us have all in common.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I miss when I got to. I miss having disposable income to be a car guy. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I can respect like cool cars or whatever. I've never had like fast cars. I've always had SUVs, and then I bought this truck. But in fact, I think my truck's the fastest vehicle I've ever owned. But I don't know. I mean, like I said, I can respect that. I know some stuff about cars, but not enough to like talk super detailed about it.
No, it makes sense. Well, I mean, I've had some fast cars before, but I drive an old Tacoma now, but I've got 6 inches of lift on it and some big super swampers that are killing my rear axle seals. But I want to be able to. I'd like to tweak that truck some more. I want to give it a new paint job, and if I have my way, I'll be driving that old Tacoma for the rest of my life.
Painting a vehicle, you say? I know a little bit about that.
You think I should leave the windshield wipers on there or no?
Nah. Not unless you can make them a lot thinner.
No, I can't really see the thing. Oh,
Is that for a patch?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do kind of like stand out a bit. Like that's.
What the fuck just happened? Oh, I think I can do this.
Ooh. So is that what you do in your professional life? Make patches and whatnot?
No. I'm just gonna make the door.
All right, whatever, Flippy.
I think it looks a little cleaner without it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it was just like they were just almost like too dark right there. It like looked like your van had eyebrows or something.
Can't figure out what the fuck is going on with right here. That's really a fuck up or what? But you can see it here and you can see it here. Hate to fucking sew 10,000 stitches and find out there's a fuck up right there.
I can say this: your the bumper looks like the side that's on the left looks like it should kind of come up and bend a little bit more in.
Like it should come up like it's got hit. It probably is hit, so it's probably doing that. But like this should be torqued up, you're saying?
I think a little bit.
Yeah. This is true to the picture, but yeah, it looks like it's broke or something. This looks a little tweaky too.
Well, if you're going to be true to the picture, you're going to have to get some reddish brown stitching.
Get that rust in there.
Put some rust spots on it.
No rust spots on this picture.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. It's up on the other side.
Creative license. As we're sitting here mesmerized by his stitching.
Oh, yeah, it's cool watching people work on stuff.
Yeah, it's much more interesting than my silly face and a snowman.
Hey, that snowman's pretty cool.
He is. He's lots of style there.
What the hell is on TV? Is this some freaking... Oh, look, this thing in the desert looks like a pentagram or whatever. I don't know what I've stumbled into. My TV's been paused for a long time and it just started playing.
Pentagrams in the desert. It's aliens.
Well, that's... Yeah, I don't know.
Always aliens.
Oh, it's What on Earth. Okay, that's not as bad. It's an interesting show. They find stuff in like satellite pictures, and then what I really like is the way that they kind of like will come up with like a hypothesis of what like this thing might be, and then they kind of introduce like some new evidence of like, well, actually, we called so and so, and they said that this, and like, oh, okay, and then sometimes they actually like go out to the place, and like once you're like on the ground, you can see exactly what it actually is. So it's cool of like the whole, they'll have like 2 or 3 theories kind of going on at the same time, and then they start ruling a couple of them out as they, do investigation and find more facts. And sometimes they're like, yeah, we're not really sure exactly what it is. Like that we've given you the evidence that we found, like make your own conclusion. I kind of like it. It's like it kind of teaches people how to think critically.
Nice. I'm not gonna lie. Pretty much the only show that I watch on TV that I'll tune in for is The Walking Dead. That's about it. You don't have to think for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I watch a handful of like, what will those be? I guess that's like a drama or something. But most of the time, honestly, I'm sitting on gun channels like in one of these chats, and then I just have my TV muted. We're almost like, I don't know, the past like week, every single night, there's been either Planet Earth or Blue Planet or something like on the BBC, all of those documentaries. And that, you can just sit there and watch that on mute. It's like, all right, watching penguins swim around is cool. Like, I don't have to listen to them talk about penguins. I've probably heard it before.
Huh.
Not missing anything new. Every once in a while, I've actually like gone back and unmuted it like, wait a minute. What the heck's going on? Because like some animal's doing some weird thing.
Fair enough.
But most time it's just cool watching stuff like run around in nature. But that end, Top Gear's on right now.
Nice. Wait, which one? The American or the European one? Because the European one was the good one.
Well, it's from the BBC. But it's not the one with that dude because that guy got fired or whatever. So they've like made it's the new one. So it's new Top Gear. It's still like I said, it's still on the BBC, but I don't know. I tried watching Top Gear a couple times and I just doesn't hold my interest.
If you ever want to see I remember there was one cool episode It's in fact probably I think the only one I actually remember was they had, the car brand Lotus. They had one of their sports cars, and then they had some British attack helicopter, and they had the sports car just going around on this course. Just all it was trying to do was, the idea was to see if the helicopter could lock onto it or not, and the helicopter could not get locked onto it at all. And then the pilots are like, "Yeah, we couldn't get locked on, but we just shoot it with our machine guns." But it was kind of cool just to see that this like sports car was evading the tracking system of a, multi-million-dollar state-of-the-art attack helicopter. But if I'm watching,
if you drive around crazy enough, I could see that.
Yeah,
like always making turns and shit.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. But yeah, Top Gear, I don't know. I think I watched it some back in the day, but I think if you're gonna watch a car show, I think the really cool ones are when they like TV shows where they restore vehicles. That's always cool to see how, in 1 hour they take a car they've been working on for like a year and take it from being a rusted hunk of junk and turn it into like a pristine brand new car. Whoa, G-Web's made the whole side of the car rust brown.
I just need to be able to see the stitches in there. Trying to get rid of that weird line. So it started, so it goes like gray windshield, whatever side passenger thing, grill, bumper, then hubcap, bumper, and then it goes to that little piece of roof. And then this is the red part is where it leaves. So it goes in on the green, does its thing, comes out on the red, and then it goes into this one, in on the green, does its thing, and comes out on the red. So if you don't pay attention and it goes in here, let's say, and comes out here, it's going to do some weird shit to be able to do that, and it'll make the pattern look weird sometimes. So what I did is made sure that since it was coming from up here, right, that it would start on the top end. Oops. We'd start on the top end and then end down here. And then on this big panel, I have it start right where this other one ended. So now it starts here, does its whatever, and then goes towards this end. And I think that killed whatever weird wrinkle there was on the fender before that I suspect would have given it a weird line,
Very well. I think that you should make the thing black, put a red hockey stick on it, and then add a little bit of gray, and you'll have the A-Team van.
GMC, and it's an 86, and this is a 2002 Chevy, but
hey, no one would notice.
Van people would.
Yeah, would notice.
God, I could see that thing getting painted. Ugh. Those ones were a pain in my ass too.
Vans?
Yeah, that particular one, the one without the windows and stuff. It's very hard to control paint flow when the air can't get to the inside. And the robot at one point, it sprays down in through the windshield.
Is it hard for the robot? Is it hard for the robot? Oh.
Well, I mean, the robots can do it, but so the problem is, right, so on the external prime booth, the robot, when it first comes into the booth, the robot is spraying inside, through the windshield, and with the doors opened up, the doors are actually still inside the flash tunnel. So what happens is all of those fumes and that paint, they come out the back end of the van, because you basically made a giant tunnel because the air can't get in there to knock the paint down. And then once the paint gets into the flash tunnel, because we have the flash tunnel positive to keep back internal prime, it just shoots the shit all the way down the horseshoe. And it was a pain in the ass to figure out how to get it to not do that. I mean, I figured it out. I'm just saying. It was not cool. Because like other than that, like when they sprayed the trucks,
the answer was to flip the van upside down, obviously.
well, I just gave every van a sunroof so that the downdraft air could get in through the sunroof and push the paint back towards where it's supposed to go.
And vehicles need sunroofs anyway, so perfect.
There's a big sloppy hole in the top of my roof that's welded on all crudely.
Yep. You know, I actually saw a robot cut a sunroof into a truck that wasn't supposed to have a sunroof.
Did the robot even get in trouble? Then nobody even gave a shit, probably. He was just like, oh, I'm a robot. Or like, oh, it's stupid robots.
Yeah, I don't know if the robot got in trouble, but it sure did shut down production for the rest of the night and cost shit ton worth of potential money.
Because they gotta make sure that the robots haven't gone sentient.
Right. Well, and that's one of the things that I actually one of the stories I use, especially like when I'm like training someone new or whatever, is these robots don't give a fuck about you. They don't know you exist. And I've seen one cut a sunroof into a truck that wasn't supposed to have one. It sure as hell will take you out.
What do they cut sunroofs with? Lasers?
No, it's because the so it's like a
this robot arm.
The end of a paint robot has like a little like cone inside this like cup, and it's spinning like ridiculously fast, and it comes up to like a super sharp razor edge because that's what like atomizes the paint. And so those things are freaking, they'll just cut through shit. Because like I've seen them like when they're not spinning, they're like razor sharp. Like you can still cut yourself on them. When they're spinning at like 100,000 RPMs or something like ridiculously fast, oh my god, they just fucking cut right through you.
And you sons of bitches put these on the end of robot arms.
Yeah.
Nice. And then you're like, oh, I don't know what happened. I don't know how the robot killed all the people. I feel like robot arms should have to be 21 years old before they can have
Yes.
The right to bear robot arms? Dude, I'm about to replace my fucking right arm with a robot arm, dude. Like the nerve in my elbow's fucked up or something.
You know, if you could have robot arms, do you even need a gun anymore? You could probably have one built into your robot arm.
I'd still want guns.
Fair enough.
No explanation needed. Like, yeah, okay. You know what? I got robot arms. What are you going to do? You going to tell me I can't have a gun? I'll crush you with my robot arms. Or cut a sunroof in you.
And shut down production for a day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was bad.
But I mean,
basically, like, it was on... Basically what happened, it thought that that truck was the one that had the sunroof. So it was doing its program for the sunroof one, which normally, you know, it paints all the outside like normal. And like right near the end, the one robot like peeks down like in through the sunroof and just like sprays all around, like psh, just hoses in some paint, and that kind of all settles down on the inside, and you know, it's just like one last little like coating in there. So that's all it did. It painted all the outside, and then it centered itself on the roof and just went down. It wasn't expecting to hit anything.
But it did.
Right through the roof.
Well, you know what, though? Maybe it was right. I mean, it is the artist after all, and it's like, this truck needs to have a sunroof.
Yeah. Too bad it, like, broke its wrist, basically, by doing it. Because that's one of the things. That's the robots do have, like fail points or whatever, and that's especially paint robots, they are very similar to like human arms. Like they have a shoulder, an elbow, a wrist. The only difference is they can like turn their hand like 360 degrees, and then I mean they have to rotate back out the other way so they don't tangle up the paint lines, but they can just like spin up all the way around.
Oh. So you're telling me we don't have to worry too much about robots taking over the world yet?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, these ones are attached to like a track and stuff. It's not like they're walking down the street.
Hey, I mean, you never know. I mean, I've seen Terminator that they evolve or something. Once Google goes live.
Maybe.
I don't know. Seems more likely. Than,
I think there are much scarier robots out there than like paint robots. Although they can do you harm if they don't, because they don't know you're there, and they're just doing what the program says. But that's also, I mean, that's why there are safety things that kill the power to the robot. If you walk in front of the light screen, or if you open a door that's got a proc switch on it, it instantly shuts the line down and turns the power to the robots off.
I don't think I'm going to take any robot advice from somebody who's been a pawn of the robots for so many years.
I have not been a pawn. If anything, I have tamed the robots. They apply the paint at my command.
Yeah, Smeggies playing robot checkers, and robots are playing robot checkers.
Yeah, they're playing 4-dimensional chess against you.
Well, in reality, I mean, their programs are 4-dimensional for sure.
See?
Yeah.
In fact, there was one issue that was solved by taking 3 milliseconds off of one of the programs. And it solved an issue that was going on for a couple weeks that no one could figure out. And by the time, like, when I looked at it, I'm not tooting my own horn here, but just saying, I watched it go through freaking, I think it was like two vehicles went through. And I was like, hey, is there any way you could shut the paint off like a little bit earlier? Because you're totally like way past the door and still spraying into nothing. And they pulled up the program, and they ended up shaving off 3 milliseconds so that it shut off a little bit earlier. The problem went away.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. But no one ever wants to reprogram. That's always like the last thing. I got to go through all my shit first and then be like, hey, why don't you just like not do that?
I still want to know when I'm going to have a robot slave in my house. Honda promised those us a few years ago.
Well, you don't have a Roomba?
No, I walked around, dude. You remember that little robot that walked around? Said Honda on it?
Yeah.
I remember those.
Then occasionally it might freak out and say, danger, danger, Will Robinson. That'd be great. I'd be happy with just one that could just go to the fridge and get me a drink.
You're out of Mountain Dew. I boiled the cat. You're welcome.
Well, I hate cats, so that could be a good thing. Actually, I don't hate cats. I'm just deathly allergic to them. And because of that, cats realize it, and they know that, and they decide that they instantly want to be my friend.
Oh, dude, cats are the freaking masters of like only showing up around the people that don't really like them that much.
Our human will make sure that he cannot push us away. Let's kill him.
Yeah. They're conniving little bastards.
Yeah, they're just roommates. That's the way you gotta look at it.
Yeah.
As long as you think of it that way, then you won't really like get offended when they don't hang out with you for a while. Like, I get it. Sometimes they hang out with you. Sometimes they're doing their own thing. Whatever.
Yeah.
Just like a roommate. You don't have to freaking be attached at the hip. Where dogs are like your best friend. They're like, oh, you came home? What are you doing? Oh, you're going to sit here? I'll sit here too. Oh, you standing up? I'll stand up too. Where are we going? Like, dude, I'm just like going to the fridge. I'll go with you. What's in the kitchen? Is there any food in here?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not food time? Okay. Oh, we're going back to the living room? Okay.
Dude, my dog, he will literally sit outside the bathroom when I go to the bathroom. It's pathetic.
Yeah, well, when you're fucking dead in the bathroom and your cat's like, the fuck, I'm hungry. Then you fucking wish you had a dog. Would have been howling and screaming, get the phone for you. Got the baby.
Yeah. I don't know if my dog could get the phone. He's kind of kind of worthless with practical skills. He can shake your hand though.
You can go like bark at the neighbor for a while and get the neighbor to come over.
That's true. And the neighbors do hate him.
That will help save your life somehow.
Good. The one might call the cops and be like, "That damn dog won't stop barking," as I'm like frothing at the mouth in the bathroom. So good. He has a purpose after all. Let's see here. What is going on with... But here's a question. Does anyone know when that that gun control bill is supposed to hit the House?
Boy, that sounds like a question that needs to be way more specific.
So it's what is it? It's HR 5087.
Is that the overall like the new assault weapons ban?
Yeah. So well, there's actually two of them. Dianne Feinstein introduced one, and then there's another one. Hers only has like 27 people sponsoring it. But then there's another one, HR 5087, that's got 173 co-sponsors.
Well, it was introduced on the 26th and referred to the House Committee of the Judiciary, and I believe nothing has happened since then.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. I don't think it's going to pass.
To committees.
I think it's just grandstanding for the election coming up, but still good to watch. And of course, my representative is a co-sponsor of it. Makes sense.
Oh, that's a good point. I should look at the co-sponsors. Yeah, I don't see anything that's saying it's scheduled for anything.
Oh, that's good. I think next week they're doing I think they're doing some economic reform next week. So that's good at least. Try to push that one as far back as possible. As we're all just looking on Google now.
Let's see. Daniel Kildee. He's from Michigan. He's a co-sponsor. Bastard. Brenda Lawrence. Bastard. Yeah. Sander Levin, that makes sense. He's fucking like 120 years old, dude. That Levin's been a freaking Michigan dude forever.
Another reason we need term limits.
I mean, him and Haw on term limits, to be honest. Like, I get why you would say that. Like, it's people get in, they make their entire career out of it. They get bought and paid for by someone. Like they, just are corrupt and stuff. Yeah, okay, great. Like I do get that. But at the same time, it's like I picture someone, let's say someone like gets in and is really good at doing what they're supposed to do. I don't want them to only be able to have like a couple years in there and then you got to start all over with like a new person. I mean, you can build up rapport, especially with like your representatives and stuff. And if you have the same people, Debbie Dingle, they're dumb. I'm just finding the Michigan ones. That's it. So just 3 from Michigan, all Democrats. But anyways, like, you build up rapport with them or something, and then, you might be, especially if you got their ear a little bit, that can be kind of good because they're tuned into what their constituents want. They keep winning. People keep voting for them for whatever reason. So it's like, obviously the people in their area like them. And if they do something bad, the people will stop voting for them. I mean, that's
in theory
how it's supposed to work.
But a lot of times they'll do a lot of gerrymandering and and redo all the districts periodically to make sure they get to keep getting voted in. So I might be a more jaded person.
Yeah, I mean, I that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm him and Han. I don't have necessarily a solid opinion of it. I'm open for either way. I'm just trying to give pros and cons of each side, and that's one of them being like, hey, if they keep winning because they're doing a good job, I guess what I hate is for like someone really good to get in because like their first term, like they're not going to know any of the other people, and I mean, let's face it, you kind of have to work with the other people, and whether it's hey, I'll vote for your thing if you vote for my thing. I mean, it's kind of how it works. So you got the first term, you're kind of like feeling it out, figuring out like how to do stuff, like most bills introduced are not from like freshman people like that, like, oh, I've been here for a day. These are all the things I want to change. Like the people that are all established don't want to listen to that. Although maybe if they're all new like every couple of years, then it might be better. Like because they'd all understand like, oh yeah, we only have a short time to get stuff done. I don't know. I guess I'm just thinking out loud now, but
well, then if they're all new and they're inexperienced, then it could be a good thing that they don't get stuff done.
Well, yeah, I am almost always in favor of doing nothing over doing something, unless there's a very specific like doing something that's good, as in repealing something or cutting back on the government's power or their role.
Right.
It's rarely the case, but it does happen every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
I mean, that's like that's the thing. That's one of those things. Like you ever see? I remember seeing a book one time, but it's there's been like internet things and stuff that are like, oh, look at all these funny laws that are actually still on the books, and you read it, you're like, oh, that's funny. I know, like the one, it's illegal to tie up your alligator to a fire hydrant in Detroit. Okay, haha, funny. Like that seems silly. But here's the thing, like people have found these weird things and they archived it on a website and laughed about it. And then the thing is still on the books. Like, can we get someone in here and like repeal some of this stuff?
Yeah, I mean, that is crazy. I need to occasionally be able to tie up my alligator to a fire hose. I mean,
I certainly do all the time. But I mean, that's just the one that I always sticks in my head because where I'm from and whatnot. But there's other stuff like that that's like, oh, make sure your carriage is no more than 30 feet away from a cat or whatever. You're like, what?
Yeah.
And, stupid, weird things. And I get it. Like, are they prosecuting on that stuff? No. But the thing still exists. So if the argument is, well, we don't prosecute it anyway, so who cares? Well, how about you repeal it because you don't prosecute it anyway, so who cares? And then when their answer is, well, we'd kind of like to keep it. Well, then it's like, okay, well, why is that? Like, what,
Yeah.
you know, that's because they want to, at whatever time, if they happen to run into someone they don't like and they find this really weird, obscure law, they're like, oh, yeah, by the way, you're breaking this thing. There was a thing, Stossel did like I don't know if it was like a full documentary, if it was just like he did like a segmented series like on when he was on Fox when he had his show. I think it was on Fox Business. Anyways, and it was something like Illegal in America was like the title of the thing. And he basically went through and was talking about all these different regulations and all this stuff. And he is very much pro getting rid of that crap. Because like I said, they're not enforcing it anyway. So if you got rid of it, everyone else's like day-to-day life wouldn't change. It's
Right.
just every once in a while when they're trying to catch somebody for something and they find a weird thing about keeping grapefruits on the counter or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, you can't have grapefruits in this state, or so, like some weird ass old thing.
Yeah. Whatever actually ever happened to John Stossel? I love that guy.
He still does YouTube stuff for Reason TV. I see new ones pop up every once in a while.
Nice. Well, he's 70 years old now.
I mean, because he has his own, he's got his own YouTube channel, and then like I said, Reason TV YouTube channel posts his stuff. It's kind of like if you follow Colion Noir and the NRA, like you'll see the same video pop up like on the same day.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. But yeah, that's about all I've seen. I don't think he's on TV still. He might have like a radio show or something, or maybe he has a podcast. But if he has a podcast, he's not posting on YouTube that I can see.
Right.
Because the John Stossel like channel only posts these little like 5-7 minute videos once a month or so.
Oh, don't take much time, but a 5-7 minute video once a month, that's doesn't take long to make a 5-minute video. They're slacking.
Well, I mean, to be fair, there's the research involved in that. Like, yes, the actual production of it, but I mean, when he does the stuff, it's very much like an old school TV report where he'll travel to somewhere and interview people and then like do all the research and do follow-ups a couple weeks later and then put that all together into like one segment.
Gotcha. So actual
To
reporting.
be fair to him, it's not like he literally turns his computer on, talks for 10 minutes, edits it down to 5 and hits post and then goes back to bed for like the rest of the month.
Fair enough.
Well, shit, just like the thing I did earlier today, it turned into a 40-minute video. You can't tell me I only did 40 minutes worth of work. I probably spent an hour and a half before I did the 40-minute video,
No, yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, actual, yeah, if he's doing actual good reporting, like, I guess I just like what just seems like so much of the news reporting these days, it's more like infotainment than actual reporting. So if it's actual reporting, that's kind of refreshing.
All right, let's watch this thing. So, G-Webs just went live on Instagram. He's pointing his phone at his sewing machine.
Oh, the Instagram. I've not gotten on that one.
Oh man, it's fun.
I'm pretty lazy though. I've tried doing the Snapchat before. Don't really care for it.
So yeah, Snapchat's weird. I don't get like. Here's the thing. I guess I get like Snapchat as far as like sending the things to your friends or whatever. Like if you know a bunch of people like actually on Snapchat, I get snapping back and forth. Like even if it using the filters like, oh look, it turned me into a little dog or a princess or something. Haha, funny. Or the other stuff, which I think is why Snapchat was invented, since the picture goes away as soon as you look at it. There's a reason they did a self-destruct thing.
Yeah.
But anyways, everyone wants to deny that Snapchat was like started for the sole purpose of sending dirty pictures, but I pretty much think it was. Anyways, but then there's like a whole thing, like there's like the stories aspect of Snapchat where like you post a thing and everyone who like follows you like can see it for like the next day and then it goes away. And Instagram has incorporated that into their thing. Like that's what there's like things up top where you can like see a picture and then it just scrolls through to the next one and those things like go away after a day. But honestly, I don't look at those most times. I normally just look at like the regular feed of Instagram, which is just a picture and people can like it and comment and like you can just scroll back for as long as you feel like or click on someone's page and see everything they've posted like the last year or whatever.
Right on. Maybe I'll play with it one day. I don't know. I'm lazy.
I think Instagram's the way to go. It's neat.
I have a hard enough time keeping up with the Facebook.
Oh well, yeah, drop Facebook. No one likes that.
Yeah, it's definitely getting to where I'm probably gonna get rid of my account for a while just because it's just getting so ridiculous, like all the politics on it. And I put a post up recently on it. I was like, guys, I'm getting annoyed with all the gun talk. Can we go back to talking about kids eating Tide Pods? I do miss that meme, but that's 2 weeks ago. We could use a new one. Oh man! And then I'm just scrolling through Facebook and wondering, I'm just hating myself for doing it.
Yeah, see, Instagram, you can just follow cool people, so you don't ever have to get like stupid people.
You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and deactivate my account like right now. How do I do that? They make it so hard to like deactivate your account.
Make sure you have to make sure you post like a big like melodramatic thing of like why you're deactivating, and then you get all a bunch of people like, oh no, like don't leave, we like you.
Like, nope, I'm
I
done.
remember that with like, I don't know if you ever did like MySpace. That I guess that was maybe why I never really got onto Facebook, was that like I remember when MySpace was a thing and like okay, I had one. I didn't use it that much, but it's like okay, you follow your friends or whatever. I didn't ever really follow like random people. So it's like everyone I knew in real life. And then every once in a while you'd get someone like no one likes my thing. I'm just quitting MySpace forever. And you're just like, yeah, okay. Like, bye. And then they get all mad that like you're not upset that they're upset or something. It's like, oh my God. He's looking for freaking attention and drama.
Yeah.
And then like I knew about Facebook like, before like it really blew up, and I was like, oh, that's kind of like it seemed like kind of like a cooler MySpace, but I'm like, whatever. I already have the MySpace thing. I don't really like that much, so I'm probably not gonna like Facebook all that much. And then all of a sudden, freaking Facebook exploded and MySpace like crashed and burned.
Does MySpace even exist anymore?
I think it does, but
It does. And you can log in with your Facebook account.
No shit. I wonder if they like bought them or something. Well, actually, I take that back. No, there's plenty of websites that have nothing to do with Facebook that allow you to log in with your Facebook account. Just because, like, your Facebook account is like, it like is become you online.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's right. A website you can just be like, log in with Facebook, and then it just like already knows all like your email and shit. So like you don't have to sign into a new thing.
It looks like they've changed MySpace to where it's more about like music and like movies and just like entertainment and whatnot.
Yeah, well, that was, and that, I don't know if it's like, I don't know, whatever. Like, I don't know. I haven't seen it, but anyways, I know near the end there, when everyone was bailing from MySpace and going to Facebook, was that like it was like all bands and stuff, but it was all, you know, like local bands trying to like use social media to drive up, like, you know, get local people to come to their shows and all that stuff. So you'd get, it's like every day you'd get freaking all like a million like friend requests from these bands you've never heard of, just because they wanted to like spread their name. And then the only thing they talk about is, hey, we're going to play at this place tonight, or we're going to be at that place. Which I get, like, okay, yeah, you want to use social media as an advertising type thing. I mean, I'm sure people use that kind of stuff on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all the other stuff. But it was like the amount of unsolicited kind of stuff. Like, I don't even know who you are. Like, why are you bombarding me with this crap?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not following you. You're just like bombarding me with friends requests and like sending me messages and shit saying that you're going to be at some local ass bar like in Tennessee. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, no one cares.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see, 9:47. Nice. Just decided to look at my grades, my for my semester. All A's.
Awesome.
Yeah, my school is easy though, so it helps.
You went back to middle school, did you?
Yes. It's you know, you seen that movie? Was it Billy Madison? That's or is it,
yeah.
or is it the other one? Because he did, or is it? There's two movies that same out. Or
But you had it. You were correct. Billy Madison. He goes back to school.
yeah, that's what it feels like. Because like
He
I'm in my
spent 2 weeks in each grade, and then he takes a test at the end to prove he like learned everything.
Yeah, I'm in my 30s now. I only go to school at night. It's a little bit older people, but still, it's like when I go there, I see, you know, I'm like I see kids, and I'm like, wait, you're in college? You look like a middle schooler to me. Damn, I'm old. But I do fit in the desk, so it's not quite as bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of liked the night classes when I was in school. I mean, I had day classes like and night classes. Like it was pretty much, it was hard to get like the full curriculum, like all the classes you had to take in a semester to like stay on track all during the day, unless you literally wanted to like have, you know, every single hour have something.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I like about night classes is they're usually just once a week for like 2.5, 3 hours. And so once you've gotten that done, you don't have to, you know, deal with it.
Right. Or I think a lot of mine were like Monday, Wednesday for 2 hours or something. So it was still like a 4 credit hour class, but it was only like twice a week.
But the school,
and that's the thing. So that was one of the things like you basically pretty much had to take at least a night class a couple of times, because there would be 4 classes that you like had to take pretty much like, you know, you had to take them in the same semester, either because some of them were like co-requisites for each other, or they were like a prerequisite for something that like you had to take next year to like stay on track to try and graduate in 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And of those 4 classes, they were offered at like 3 different times during the day. You know what I mean? So it's like the same, like, you know, you can pick whichever one, but it's like all 4 classes were either from like, you know, 10 to 11, noon to 1, or 2 to 3.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so there's no way I can take all of them during the day. So I'm going to have to pick one of them and take it from, you know, whatever, 6:30 to 8:30 or whatever.
No, well, I mean, the school I go to, I'm actually on my 2nd degree. I went to school first time when I was younger, so I'm actually not even going to like a traditional school. I'm going to Southern New Hampshire, and you know, they do have a main campus, but they're mostly online. But what I'm doing is actually, it's called their hybrid. So basically, I go to like one class and then I do like an online class pretty much, because for the GI Bill, it's so stupid because, you know, if you're in school, you know, your bills remain the same whether you're going to school online or going to a brick and mortar class, but they'll only give you half your benefits if you go online only. Yeah, it's just something weird, but it's kind of funny because in the class that I was in for the last, you know, semester, every single student, there was only 4 of us. We were all using the GI Bill. Yeah.
Does the school charge less for online classes versus like in classroom?
It's the same, I think. I don't know. I don't even see a bill because,
well, because like the GI Bill pays for it, right?
Yeah.
But I wonder if that's why they figure like if you do all online, like your schooling will be cheaper than if you did all in the classroom, so they don't give you as much.
I don't think so. I think the last time I was in college, you know, all my classes, even the online ones, cost the same. I mean, they still have to pay a professor.
Right. But they can cut down on infrastructure type stuff. You know, that's one less classroom they have to build and heat and light and have school supplies in and all that kind of shit.
I mean, no, I mean, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think they just charge the same because they can.
Yeah, it's possible. I was just curious. I've never taken an online class. I've had classes that have had online components to them where it's like, you know, you still have to show up a couple times a week, but then like your main project, you just like post it online so you can like do it whenever. Or like some of the quizzes would be online, like as long as you finish it by next week, you're okay. Or some of like the homework type stuff. Well, that just cut down on work for the teacher, right? Because you just like submit it through the website or whatever, and then it pops up, and they can grade it at 3 o'clock in the morning if they want. It doesn't matter; like they can do whatever.
Well, I mean, it kind of works like that, yeah. Now, when my old college, when I would take the online classes, you actually still had to watch like there'd be like video lectures, and this school doesn't do that. You just have the reading, and then you have like your assignments and whatnot.
You know, something I found a while ago, and I got really into it, and I've kind of forgotten about it till just now you've said that. There's a YouTube channel, I think it's called Yale Courses, but it's like full like regular lectures from Yale. So if you want to like learn about something, you can watch the videos. And then they like the teacher, because he's talking to like a classroom full of students, like you can get homework assignments and shit. Like you could buy the required book, like you could follow along and pretty much take the entire class for free. You just obviously don't get credit for it or a grade. But the fact that they've put like full semesters worth of classes up online. I think I found I was doing some like research on evolution and stuff, and I found this class that was the whole class was all about evolution. It's like, oh, it was really interesting, like being at the like college level type stuff and digging into some things that You know, I guess I like kind of knew, but not really. It's like they explained it pretty well. And I definitely learned some stuff. I didn't do any of the homework, so screw you. You can't tell me what to do.
Right. No, that's actually pretty cool. I mean, I remember, you know, when I went to college the first time around, there was one of my friends. She was in an anthropology class, and obviously, I wasn't going to pay for the class or do any work because I didn't need it. But I asked the professor if I could sit in, and I sat in for at least half the semester, and it was just cool to learn that stuff. But it's now, you know, with YouTube becoming so much more prevalent, like being able just to hop on a YouTube thing and like be able to watch a lecture, that'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, they have all sorts of classes up there. I remember I was watching a quantum mechanics class. It was pretty cool. Because yeah, I'm the type of nerd that's like, hey, I'm kind of bored. Let's take a high-level math class or science class from Yale. That sounds like fun.
Yeah. No, God Lord, that sounds terrible, actually. No, I just looked him up on YouTube, and it's kind of funny. The third thing down is from a guy, I think he's running for office in Connecticut, Dinesh D'Souza. It's titled "The Fascist Roots of the American Left." That could be interesting. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna open that up for later. That guy's
Yeah, I mean, pretty much from what I remember, like they have just a gazillion playlists, and so like each playlist is a specific class.
That's pretty. I'm definitely gonna have some fun with that later.
But yeah, it was neat.
Wow.
Damn it, I was gonna say something, I forgot now. Oh well, whatever. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. None of this matters.
Oh. Hell, this isn't even real. We're all just brains in a jar, so who cares?
Yeah. Well, if we're gonna be brains in a jar, I'd rather be our entire heads, like Futurama.
and get fed like fish flakes.
Yes, exactly. I mean, that's where we found out that Lucy Liu, her head is in one, and so is President Nixon.
Yeah, it is kind of funny that the year 3000 is so obsessed with like the 90s and early 2000 like pop culture. It's really odd.
Yeah.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know. That was such a great show.
Well, all right. I gotta step away for a moment. I'll be back in a little bit. So I guess talk to yourself and amuse the audience.
All right. Well, I guess for my next round of tricks, I'll start juggling. But I'm not going to show my face because I got yelled at last time I tried to. That was a different chat. Well, we have G-Webs sewing some stuff. So that's probably much more entertaining than me. We have anyone alive in the YouTube chat?
Make it hear what I listen to.
The sweet serenade of a sewing machine. Is that a robotic sewing machine?
Yeah.
Sweet. Everyone has robots here but me. Look, Mom, no hands. So I installed this application called TubeBuddy, and that thing's pretty cool because you can go on any video you go on, you can kind of see their channel analytics. And as a nerd, I like seeing all the statistics from them. It actually lets you kind of compare yourself to them as well. For instance, in the last 30 days, I've had twice the subscribers as Smeggie. Hmm. He gained 4. I got 8. Huge growth.
I can't hear you when it's going, but you're just talking about TubeBuddy. I haven't used that one yet. What about it
Oh,
though?
it's really cool. What it lets you do is I'm only using the free version, but you can pay for it too and get more features. But you can actually you can use it for your own analytics, but you can actually look at other channels and you can compare your analytics against theirs. So like looking at Smeggies YouTube channel, it did a comparison between his channel and my channel and saw he gained 4 subscribers in the last 30 days and I grabbed 8. So just weird little information like that. But what it also does is it if you want to compare yourself to like a bigger channel, like maybe a G Webs, you can if I did that comparison, it shows like best practices, like, hey, you know what is your channel doing that's got your subscriber base, and it can kind of say, oh, he's doing this, or no, he's not doing that.
I use that vidIQ to tell me numbers and stuff, but I haven't used TubeBuddy. I'll have to start using that one more. I hate to invest a lot of time and effort into YouTube, but you never know when they're going to turn this all off. But there's obviously a lot to gain over there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean YouTube's kind of the it's kind of that necessary evil right now, because I know I've heard, like, you're planning on trying to grow gun channels more, and I know Full 30 is trying to grow so that it can be an all inclusive video environment. But obviously that's
Yeah,
do what
I'm not really trying to grow gun channels into any kind of thing that's like a video host or anything like that. It's really just, I want it to just be a community. I don't really want it to be like the next big thing for guns. I just don't have the resources to make that or really
right.
be interested in it. I just want to make it a gathering place for people that are hardcore into the Second Amendment.
Nice. Now, have you talked with like Mac from Military Arms Channel, maybe like doing some sort of like
Now, back when we first built it, he milled for 30 right after, and I was like, hey, we could, these could be synergistic, and he's like, well, let's hold off for reasons. And then years later, he hasn't really done any of the stuff he was worried about, and I don't know what his deal is, what his growth is going to be, but no, I haven't had any success reaching out to him.
Gotcha. That's kind of sad.
When I talked to Jaeger when he built his thing, Jaeger, I've known him for a long time, so he put me in contact with his tech guys, but they're not really they're looking to replace a YouTube hosting thing, not really to build a community. They've got their own like forum for a community. So I don't really know if there's a need for a alternative to Facebook just for guns. I honestly don't really think that's necessary. But
Right.
as far as a platform for people that are active and trying to create projects and shit, I don't mind creating that. It's just that I guess my hesitation to just say growing gun channels, I'm looking to make it like, hey, anybody who is casually into guns, come hang out here, because that just creates resource load and
Right.
all kinds of traffic and noise that we don't need. But if we can get people who are creating content or interested in participating with people that create content, people that are like, I'm hoping to get like people that are like artists and video people and editors and people that can write, and people that have these different skill sets that want to get together and work with people. Because eventually what we got when we have a bunch of people who know how to create, that'll attract people who have products that they want to have promoted or whatever. So I think that there can be some advantages to it. But anyway, I don't think the growth is the number one goal or anything.
You don't think what's the number one goal?
Have like the growth. I don't want growth to just be the number one goal, because bringing in money, like I was telling them whenever, I don't remember when it was, but if we were to get like 100,000 people join gun channels, right, and what would that be, 12
$1,200,000 or whatever. That wouldn't, I couldn't just pay for gun channels to be that much bigger. Like that would take tons of infrastructure. I'd have to hire people to keep track of stupid shit. Like, you know, it's just growth on its own isn't what I'm looking for. To have the biggest platform that requires all kinds of stuff that I'm not looking to do. But keeping it medium sized with people that are active, that's what I'm looking at. People that are creating, and then just driving different projects, you know, whether it's Second Amendment advocacy or awareness or you know, just some done thing. That's what I'm looking forward to, having a platform that can handle, because we can handle as much as that as there is out there. And that's the stuff that I remember on YouTube was the fun part of YouTube, when a bunch of people would get together and nerd out about cameras and then software, and then we'd all go make videos and look at them. And then some people would start making money and start traveling and doing stuff, or some people start making money and buying stuff. People would get in with a gun shop or with some kind of, you know, nearby museum and start making all kinds of cool content. And that part was fun. So that's what I'm trying to foster over here, is that kind of community.
Right. So
as opposed to just another YouTube, because just another YouTube implies anybody blowing up something with tannerite, anybody who's got another, I don't know, Cerakote freaking paint job or another Kydex holster is going to come around and, you know, expect for everybody to buy their Kydex holsters or paint their guns.
Right. No, I I got you. I mean, for me, like, I would definitely like to see, you know, I would like to see, you know, with what I'm doing, you know, I mean, obviously my growth for my channel has been, you know, YouTube, but what I would like to see is have a safe place for my videos to be, which is probably just going to be another video platform. People have kind of given me a list of other alternatives to host on. And then it'd be nice if I could, you know, basically use gun channels as the medium instead of Facebook, because it looks like our days are numbered on there. But we'll see how that goes. It'd be nice if you know, I could, you know, pretty much just post my stuff, have it to be, you know, participating in the gun channels community, and, you know, if it's referenced somewhere else, that's great. But
yeah, that's, I guess, the other aspect of it is I'm not trying to make it like gun channels is going to be the new champion for everybody's content, because then it's people are coming over and expected, and oh, if I throw it on gun channels, then boom, I get X amount of views, or maybe I get paid or something like that. And then again, you start attracting people that are just fly-by-nights. We've had a couple of those, and that's where, I guess that's why I get hesitant to just go growth. Let's get a bunch of people over here.
No, yeah, no, I get you. Like, yeah, I mean, for me, like, this whole project is all about, you know, I have a passion of guns, and I like talking about that stuff, and, you know, we're military gear and whatnot, even though I'm finally actually leaving the Marine Corps for real this time, I guess. But just, you know, making the videos is just a way to kind of, you know, participate in the community and just learn the art of the video production. So that's all just a lot of well and good fun, and just being involved in a community. Like, I mean, I don't, you know, I had my channel monetized on YouTube, not to make money. I think I made a whopping $7 off of it before they demonetized me. But the only reason I had it monetized was because, as much as they don't say it doesn't, if you're monetized, you definitely show up more in YouTube.
Well, that might be true. I don't know. It's tough to say, because there's so many channels, and who gets recommended to who is based on more than just your viewing preferences. It'll be based on your friends and associations and shit like that too. But the monetization used to be extra abilities, and they removed monetization, but they gave everybody those abilities. So like embedding and live and all that, that what used to be, you know, to get to monetization was so that you could get those, so you could start going live and do these kind of shows like Smeggies doing.
Yeah, and these are definitely fun. Maybe one of these days I'll start playing around and hosting some myself, but right now it's tough.
Because if you're not creating a video where it's like, you know, blah blah blah, here's the you know, start, finish, and whatever. Here's the presentation. Stopped. If it's not like a presentation type of video, it's just a conversation, then these are way easier to produce because you just turn it on and it renders into a video. You guys gotta go figure out what he's doing.
No, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, these are fun to participate in. Absolutely. Probably more fun than making the videos, to be honest. But I do very much enjoy, you know, making the, you know, making a video. And I've learned that, at least for me, it's a lot, you know, people don't really pay attention too much to videos like, you know, where it's a presentation, as you say, for more than a couple of minutes. So I try to make them, you know, 2 minutes or less. And that's ended up being a lot of fun because, I mean, you've seen some of the content I've put up, just basically just screwing around with, you know, taking news clips and then taking some movie clips and throwing them in for a joke. I had a lot of fun with the newest one I made. I did that little thing with Dianne Feinstein and Trump, that little thing, and I put a witch hat on her and had it fall around her head, and that was a lot of work, but that was kind of fun to do. Threw in some Wizard of Oz. And it's only gotten thumbs up, so that's good.
This works out pretty well. I don't have to be in there with that fucking machine making all that noise. As the state's running.
Your house is going to catch fire. But you can watch it from your own screen. Oh, man. All right. Well, I'm not going to wait for Smeggie to come back. I'm going to peace out for the night. I got a long day tomorrow and then another long day after that. So,
right on. Take it easy.
Yep. Deuces. Good talking to you.
I guess to spend a certain amount of time in front of the freezer, scraping off all that frost and adding it to his belly. All right, I guess I'll go back in there.
Are you fucking kidding me? Stupid thing. You around, Smeggie? Let's see.
I actually just got back. What's going on?
Dude left. One more caller. This is a big one.
Wait, what is that said? Oh man. Chicka 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 chicka. I'll make the sounds for the machine.
It's muted, isn't it?
It is now. It wasn't when I first jumped in.
Well, there was nobody in here before.
Yeah.
Now I just gotta run white for like. How many stitches is white gonna be? Feature's not available in this level of service, so good half of the 11,000, so it'll be about 6,000 stitches of white. Damn, it's already in the hood. White's a pretty strong color, so hopefully it'll just run that whole color through. It's kind of neat when I can just watch it like this.
Yeah.
I don't have to be in there with it making noise. But this is usually when it fucks up all the damn time and I have to go in there 10 times. If I just sit there watching it, it goes fine now. I think I forgot the review mirror and shit too.
Eh,
So it's
that's
got
okay.
the review mirror. Well, I could go back and do like the black thing around the window too. So let me kill the, it's got the black thing on the window. It's got the review mirror and then the windshield wipers and the antenna.
Mm-hmm.
I could go put all that shit on and it would look, I don't know, a little more realistic. I guess it looks kind of like a Matchbox car now. It looks a little weird now that I see no review mirror,
Yeah, it's like if you wouldn't have mentioned it, it probably would have been fine. But now that you know about it, like you're gonna notice it.
Mm-hmm. It's huge. It takes forever. It's a long patch.
Yeah. Well, it looks pretty good so far, at least from this angle.
Yeah, so far it's looking pretty good. I think it's a little weird with this thing too. The way the little scoopy thing is underneath the bumper, you don't see that tire. So I think that might end up making it look weird, or else it won't, those things. Like I might have to force a third tire under there instead, just so it doesn't look weird. I don't know. Like you say, it's one of those things until you tell somebody, I won't even notice it.
Right.
There's no way to not know it's a fucking van. Without, it's not like, oh, what the hell is this, a van with two tires? Some sort of a black thing? I think a lot of it's just as I'm sitting here looking at it and drawing the lines. It's like, what? This doesn't look right.
So you pop in a picture and then you draw over the picture with like the different colors, and then it figures out where it puts the stitches.
This is the picture, and then I just bring its opacity down so that it kind of goes away a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I start putting, the embroidery pieces down. Oops, turn it off. So then it's just these different pieces, or these different sews. See, it fucked up a little bit. I gotta go fix it. And then there's some on the strategy to like put them in order so that it's efficient. And then I got to start learning how to do that for a big machine. I do it for my little machine, and now you have a little bit more. I can do whatever I want. Big machine, there's probably things to think about, like as far as colors go from one to another or something. Anyway, I got to go fix this.
Oh. So the bottom's just running out. Which is better than a fuck up. That's the bottom looks like I'll fuck up.
Well, don't set the thing on fire after you just made it.
No, that's how you get rid of all the fucking shit that'll start messing with the needles. So this fucker just ran out. It's got some kind of eye or some shit to know when that's happening. You buy these fuckers by the 144 dozens.
And this thing will know right where to like pick up right where it left off or whatever.
Kind of, but since you see where it's at, if it was like doing something stupid like that, underlining, I don't know if you can tell, there's like a line where it drove down over here. If it was doing some significant line, I wouldn't care. But this is like right in the middle of this side panel and shit. So I ain't gonna risk it. So I close the little error message and then I'm basically going backwards. Right, so now I'm basically just stepping backwards in time so that it's gonna resew on top of some shit. But then that way it's no matter where it actually ended, I went backwards, so it's gonna cover some ground again. It should be perfect. Hurts that piece to get sewn in there. I went in there before. I went to plug in the phone and unplug the fucking sewing machine. Like it had already sewed out like all the tires and like it was getting all the headlights. And then I just unplugged the machine. So like, fucker, basically ruined it over.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not good to just unplug the machine in the middle of working on it.
I don't know if you've seen when I first started. So like, you know, the thing doesn't know where you want that patch in that little hoopy loop thing. So you start, it's just in the center. So sometimes that's fine. But, you know, this case, I didn't want to waste that piece of material by putting it right in the middle. So I shoved it all the way to the right side or whatever. So I have room in front of that van now to put something else on that piece of material before I pull it off of there. Right? Because I'm cheap. So whenever I go to, what was I getting at? When I go to move it over there, what was I getting at?
I don't know. Something about shutting the machine off halfway through.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. So whenever I move it to where it is right now so that it's oriented for that particular piece of fabric on that particular instance of that loom right there, you know, if I was a different situation, I'd put, but that looks weird. I guess it's just the lag, but it looks like it's laboring to move that loom back and forth. I think it's just the lag. I'm going to go check on it. Hold on. Yeah, that's just freaking me out because of the lag. Anyhow, so whenever I move it over so that I can shove it on that particular piece of fabric there, it gives me like a coordinate. So if I was smart, I would like note that coordinate. And then if it did shut down again, I could just put it back to that coordinate and then pick up wherever I left off. So there is a way for me to not be an idiot about it. I just don't take the time to keep track of that coordinate every time because it's different every time you know, center one or move one. Again, if I had, I don't know, it's a different kind of material and I could put it down and it was always going to put this material, that van, in the same place, then yeah, I could have all kinds of weird shit happen and just pick right up where I left off. Oh, it's bitching again.
But because you offset it by a certain amount.
So this time the thread just fucked up or something. It'll just get weird and tie itself in a knot and then break it up. So now I'll back it up because I don't know where it actually fucked up. Just back it up a bunch.
Very interesting.
It's actually looking pretty cool. I like it. Because it's going the other way. So when you stick it next to the PVC van, I should have made it the right scale. I made it a little bit too small. But it'll like line up with the other van cool. Like if I parked them that way in a field or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then it shows the cool side of the van with the doors. Yeah, I like it. So ideally, if only I knew somebody who had a 4-head machine that could pop out 24 of these at a time. If only. It's a picture of it again.
I have no idea.
All right, I gotta go back in there.
God damn it.
This is actually running pretty smooth today. It's usually way more fucking complicated than this for something this big.
Now, is there a way, like, is it possible if you, like, program the stitches differently, it would be less likely to have these problems, or that's just the machine sometimes?
No, that's
gets
definitely a
messed up?
thing. Like, that's definitely a thing. If I knew I was doing better, and that's part of it, just or whatever. But if I take a turn too fast or do some fucking complicated thing like a spaz, it'll definitely break it. And I fix things that I've had other people do for me, where like do snap, like do snap, like at the same place every fucking time. You go in there and yeah, sure enough, it's like trying to fucking jab something 12 times. You just get rid of 6 of those times and it works fine. Where was that?
Like when I first started working on this fucking van, I took that picture, right? And it said 1, 2, 3, 4, just like this, right? At the top, that little measuring thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, no problem. I want it to be like, 3 inches maybe. So I get it all lined up between 2 and 1, just about like this. And then I go and I lay down the thing. And instead of being 12,000 stitches like it is for the entire thing right now, I'd laid down just this one panel. Like I'll make it blue. Like just that one panel. And it was like 68,000 stitches. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I look over here, and instead of being inches, it was in feet. So I was trying to sew a 4-foot. My machine would have fucking bit me. Like, what the fuck are you trying to do to me? I don't even own this much thread.
Yeah, gotta be careful of the scale.
So now this is my new thing. I laid down this. Get rid of that blue. This last thing it's doing right now. Make it red. Is that outline? rid of this. So it's just like a border.
Mm-hmm.
So a patch like this that's a weird shape, like that. That's all. That's everything right there. And that took me a minute to figure out how to do that. But I don't know. I probably didn't do it quite big enough on this one because I'm still getting used to doing patches that are bigger than like 2 inches. But that gives you a place to sew the Velcro on and cut and everything, and it's excellent. And I wasn't doing that at first, so they looked like really shitty, I think. And that's just getting better with the tool and figuring it out and getting the hang of like what the hell like 5.5 spacing means when the thing is 2 inches and when it's 5 inches and that kind of shit. I learned a lot on that fucking Jess one too. Like trying to scale that thing a little bit. It's fucking annoying.
Yeah. Well, I liked when I think you kind of started doing where you'd sew it out and then you went like back over the thing again. Like, didn't you make some where like, you know, to get the like the border or like the seam or whatever, like made it like really look like actual fabric?
Yeah, exactly. Like on this one, you're not going to see it too easy. I can turn it to this view. You can see how the doors are there. Like I added that kind of shit. Oh, is it done?
I'm not sure. Might be.
Yeah, there's a couple of fuck ups in it that I don't know how to get rid of. But that could be also where I fucked up and stopped the machine and started it again. It's tough when you do like a whole big panel of white, you know, because that's a whole big piece that if it isn't perfect, it's obvious.
Right. Well, I know it stopped once, like almost
thought,
right by the passenger door.
yeah, exactly. And that's what it is. It's like from the passenger, it's like from here down to here. There's this fucked up line. And then there's a fucked up line over here. But that's the kind of shit that once you iron it and you throw a lighter at it a few times, they shrink up and they go away sometimes. So I think that's going to need an iron though, but it might go away with an iron actually. No, I kind of like this one, dude. It's a good size. I just can't sit here and sew them myself. Would that take like a fucking hour? I didn't really time it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I was away when you first started.
But see, like getting the hood to go, can you can't really tell too much in this, but the hood is going at like this angle. The side is going at this angle. The windshield's coming like up at this angle. And all that little subtle shit kind of gives it that three-dimensional, well, you know, actually looks like shading and hits the light right.
Right.
You did pretty good. Oh, here's a fuck up. Oh, okay. See, I do like on this piece that I turned red a minute ago.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of it, I do a border. So I'll make that border fucking purple. Right? And that border blew right into the tire. So something happened. I turned off the pull compensation. So like for real, if I was doing this on like, I don't know, a pair of underwear or like a t-shirt or like what I'm using or like cardboard or like a piece of leather or like a knit hat, you know, all those things are going to sew differently. So this sew compensation shit, wherever it just was, this pull compensation is like, you know, depending on the softness of the material and how it's going to bend and tweak and shit as you start to sew on it,
Mm-hmm.
shit off. And I probably shouldn't have, because then that's the kind of shit that knows or figures, you know, the machine knows if you start sewing the shit out of this, it's going to pull all this shit over. So when it's done just doing all this, and then it's told to lay this down in XY space, that tire ain't no longer there anymore. It's way over here. And that's what happened. I got like a line kind of in space in the middle of that tire. It looks like stupid. So I either have to turn off the outline, which I probably will just do because it's not really needed, or I would have had to figure out my pull compensation and or maybe lay this tire down after the white, but I'm not going to do that either. Because the other part of it is I can go 1 color change, 2 color change, 3 color change, 4 color change, 5 color change to white, and I'm done. And that's why I worry about that shit on a real machine. It can just kick out 10 colors. So then I could go, like I had to deal with, I wanted this to cover the tire, right? But I didn't necessarily want, or I wanted this to be covered by the tire, but then I wanted the tire to be covered by this. So if I was using a real machine, I could probably not have to worry about like, well, first I'll lay down black, and then I never want to have to put black in again, so I'll just deal with it. Instead, I could have said, splash down some black, splash down some white, go back to splashing down black, go back to splashing down some gray, give it a trim of black, splash down some white. You know, the big machines don't give a fuck. They can just throw colors whenever. So that gives you a whole nother level of like, whatever, creativity or abilities in the...
Right. Because otherwise, like for you, you'd have to just...
I have to keep color
changing it each time, right?
Dude, you remember the Glocktober chicks? I only did 1 of them.
Oh, yeah.
Holy fuck. Like, holy fuck. That took 3 or 4 efforts to get it to where the color of their skins were not weird. And, like, it was breaking every fucking color. Because the colors I have are, like, the good ones I have are good, right? And I only have, like, I don't know, 10 of those colors. And then I have a thing of, like, 64 colors that I bought when I bought my machine, thinking that, oh, I'll have 64 colors, like a box of crayons, right? But they fucking break. They can't do like a foot worth of fucking length and then they break. They're like the shittiest material ever or something. So that Glocktober thing was like 90% those fucked up colors that break all the time. I probably should fork out for like a set of 64 like decent threads or decent colors with decent threads, but I don't even know if the company I use makes something like that. I think I'd have to buy little spools for $7 a piece. All right, how the fuck do I turn that fucking purple back off? Oh, it's the border. Actually, fuck the border. More border. And I'm going to make that a little bit bigger.
That's pretty cool. At least you got one prototype now.
Yeah. I had a few pictures. I was showing them to Angelina before. Oh shit, I closed them. But you know what I'm thinking? Hold on. Shit, where do I have them? I still have my other drive plugged in. Maybe that's why they disappeared. Anyway, I was thinking the castle. Do like a patch of the castle.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And then once I've got this to where I can hook up with somebody who's got a machine that can kick these things out, then I could put the castle right here. And it would be the band in front of the castle. Or whatever, Eiffel Tower, Leaning Tower, Pisa, Colosseum, or maybe gun museums. That pyramid in
Smeggie Cave.
There's no Smeggie Cave. It's artificial.
You could make a Smeggie Cave patch.
I don't know if that's possible.
And then just stick it behind the van. That's what I'm saying. Like just add that same coating and just like pop it onto the back. Copy and paste.
And then it looks like he's sitting in front of a cave. Whoa, what the fuck is it doing there? Ah, what happened there?
That looks great. Coming out of the back of its neck like that. Yeah, that's exactly what I think it should look like.
That would be the shittiest patch right there. Like, what is that? Dorito?
Okay, I didn't say the scale really holds up. I think if the cave was like smaller and further back, like it's like you're driving down the road away from the cave. You have to like overlap it a little bit and get the perspective right.
I don't know what the fuck this is anymore. You know what else we need to come up with?
What?
Over to here to the lettering. Find a good font. Maybe? No. I like this one because it's so big. This one, maybe? Perhaps this one? No, that one's shitty. Maybe this one? And then... big. I mean, P isn't a valid character. That font doesn't have a letter P. You can use that font, but not with a letter fucking P. What is this one? Accidental president. What does that mean? Yeah, okay, they're blocked out. Good. I don't like the name of that font anyway. Now I really want to use this fucking one. Bastards. Okay, let's go see what this one can do. Oh, that's pretty weird.
Nice. I like how that one's kind of like jaggedy and stuff.
Oh, I guess I have to do the thing like this. It's a little weird. I wonder if I can. I guess I can't. I have to do it all one color or change it somehow. I don't know where to do the color. Yeah, over here maybe? Yep. Doing multicam this year. If you do part of it in orange, guaranteed Angelina will make a sticker of it.
Oh, that's smart thinking.
Play on the orange life. Oh shit. Exploit the orange life. How do I fucking get this? I don't like how I can't make both of them bigger. That's quite a bit bigger. Now we're up to 6 inches across. That's probably too big.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Now it's at 1, 2, 3, it's still 4 inches wide.
I think if you get it to like 3 inches, that'd be a good. So that's like, like the width of your palms, like 3 inches ish. Well, mine is. So that's what I use.
Trying to kill that fucking phone that's just sitting there for no reason going. Looking at my robot. So then the other
Making
thing...
sure it's not becoming self-aware.
Huh?
Making sure the robot's not becoming self-aware.
Yeah, but then Google can look at one of its little arms, right? That can't be good. Just sitting there contemplating what it could do with its little arm with a little pointy arm, like needle on it. Can't be good. I'm still screen sharing.
Yeah.
So do something like one of these. Something like this. What's up with this little guy?
Oh God, never underestimate the weirdness of internet.
Oh, I know what to do. This is pretty much the classic chocolate bunny, right? Or would you say it's standing up like this, like a dog?
I would say it was along the top row. Which one was that? Oh, yes, like second one from the right on the top row.
I'm gonna go with this one anyway.
Well, that one works too, I guess.
Well, I need it for what I'm doing.
A mountain on fire in Tucson, Arizona in 2015.
Looks like Flippy was out there. I talked some shit.
Oh, and the main page? Yeah. I saw that.
Let them know what's up.
Then promptly ignored him.
Oh, come on. Come on. There we go. Nope. Nope. Just why not? I forgot to do this part.
Aw, heart-shaped bubble wrap.
Really?
Yeah.
I would imagine somebody would have thought of that a long time ago. That's crazy. But
What I
that's
like about it is like then when you like pop all the bubble wrap, you're just like breaking your heart.
Hmm.
At least that's what I would think it symbolizes.
they could save money by taking bubble wrap and filling it with Tide.
I think so. That would work good.
Everyone would have delicious snacks and clean clothes.
How is that a crazy picture? I was just like scrolling through looking at like weird stuff. Like, there was one that well, like the Tucson mountain was on fire in 2015. That was kind of a cool picture. But there was one that like the frost on a windshield and like inside it, like it looked like a little tree, like of the little like frost crystals the way it grew. It was actually pretty artistic. And then the last one was like, I've been learning to play violin since I was 3. These are my retired violins. So there's like a little one, then a little bit bigger one, then a little bit bigger one, a little bit bigger one. It's like, yeah. How is that like an amazing photo? Like what? Like why is that something cool I'd want to look at? Like, look, they make violins in different sizes, and this guy lined them up. Neat. But I guess that's what happens when you just randomly scroll through pictures on the internet. Hmm. Oh man. Well, as much as I enjoy the late night, I think I'm actually gonna go to bed.
Hmm. The middle AK, bro. I get you. See how it is.
I know, dude. I'm trying, but it is what it is. Because if I don't, I'll get that like second burst of energy, and then I'll be up like all through the morning.
Yeah, I hear that.
And I got stuff I gotta do tomorrow, so I can't like sleep until noon or whatever.
Right on. Well, thanks for hosting. I think
Yeah.
wait, are they?
What's that?
There's nobody really out there anymore, are there?
I mean, I haven't seen anyone commenting in a while, but it says we got 7 people watching, so if they're listening, then thanks for watching. And I'll just remind you, if you're over on Gun Channels, pop over to the Smeggie Cave. If I'm in there and you're like, hey, you should do a chat, I'll probably make one. So just because there's not one up doesn't mean there can't be one. Or you can make your own. That works too. So, anyways, okay. Bye, audience.